Siyata Dishmai. So we started the Sefer HaYoshol. Last three lines we didn't read. So the Sefer HaYoshol Rabbeinu Tam, basically what he says, two things. He says at the heart of the Gemara that Chalipin would work by
Kiddushin. No sound.
I hear him.
No sound.
Okay,
I hear him.
For sound. 1 second.
I hear
no sound.
I hear you. I hear him.
Yeah, do you have sound?
You hear me?
I hear you too.
We don't hear you.
Right, Pia, do you have a sound?
The problem is
So
with
what
you.
are we gonna do?
I don't know. The problem with you. I hear him.
Shmuel, you hear anything?
Yes.
I want to read again the Sefer HaYoshol Rabbeinu Tam. We didn't do the last three lines, but we'll go over from the beginning.
No sound.
This the
No
Gemara Kiddushin
sound.
Afei Amud Aleph. The Gemara asks, "B'shtar minol."
No sound. Fix the sound.
The Gemara answers, "O makrov v'yotzo v'oiso." There's a hekesh between Gerushin and Kiddushin. Yotzo is going out, Gerushin, and v'yotzo v'oiso, Kiddushin, she will be. Is the hekesh the same way divorce is a shtar? Also, marriage is a shtar. Aval misde'efo lo yishamino.
Shmuel, you hear anything?
Yeah. I have him.
Yes.
I don't know.
Rabbi Yosef, do you hear me? It's
No,
your problem.
it's his problem. It's his problem. I hear you.
Okay. So I'm reading the Sefer HaYoshol Rabbeinu Tam in the papers in Daf Aleph. Inside. You have it, Reb Shmuel, inside?
Yeah.
Very good. Aval misde'efo lo yishamino. The Rabbeinu Tam had a problem. Why the Gemara wants to know? Searches. For shtar by Kiddushin from Hekesh v'yotzo v'oiso. Let's learn shtar by Kiddushin from Kicha Kicha Zde'efon. It says Kicha by a woman. It says Kicha by Zde'efon. Zde'efon is a sode. Sode is going to be Kesef. It's going to also be shtar. Because there's a Gzero Shomer between Zde'efon to Isha. And the Pashas is like Rashi. You learn Kinyon Sode to Kinyon Isha. Says no. Aval misod Zde'efon lo yishamino elo Kesef. He argues on Rashi. He says, you know why the Gemara learned only from Hekesh and not from Gzero Shomer? Because lo yishamino from the Gzero Shomer of Ephraim Kicha Kicha elo Kesef Davka Shvei Kesef. Only Kesef specifically or value of Kesef, which is Chalipin. But I don't learn Kinyon Sode to Isha. Di'imi Kinyon Sode Nafka, because if I do learn from Kinyon Sode, like Rashi, Im Ken Tikne Bechazoke, so there'll be also Chazoke. And since Chazoke is out, it must be that the Kinyonim, the Gzero Shomer Kicha is not Kinyon Sode to Isha, rather it's Kesef only, Kesef Shvei Kesef. That's why Chazoke is out, and that's why Shtar is out.
It's not a heck, Rod. That's a possibility.
Yeah, possibility. Now he wants to bring ahead. Teda, you should know. Teda, you should know Shu Kela is so. Sharei, that behold, Kinyan Bekesef, or Nafkam is there for him. How do we know Kinyan Kesef besode? Sharei Kinyan Sode Bekesef. How do I know Kinyan Kesef by Sode? I don't learn it is there for him. Ele Misodesh Bekesef Ignu, page 26. The Mishnah says, Nechosim sheyesh b'hem achrayu uzniknim bekesef shtar v'chazok lemozos bekesef minol l'machizkiyo sodesh bekesef iknu. And the Gemara doesn't bring down kichek from Zde'efroin. Must be that Zde'efroin is not the limud for kesef besode.
So when they ask bekesef mina. It's not to bring the right.
It's only kesef by Kiddushin. We want to know, Raya, what does the word kesef, what does the word kicha mean So we'll bring the word kicha. That by Ephron the word kicha was when kesef also here means kesef, but it's not, we're not learning kinyonim of soda to kesef. What's the raya? He says, Teda, if the kinyan soda was, if I'm learning kinyan kesef beisho from kinyan soda of Ephron, so why do when the Gemara learns kinyan kesef and soda, they learn from sodas by kesefinu, and not from the story of Ephron? Must be the soda of Ephron, the kesef of Ephron is not the limud of kinyan soda, just the limud of the language, of the lingua. When it says kicha, the language means kesef, and that we learn from Ephron. What? I can't hear two people speaking. Yes, Rabbi. Yes. Yes. No, it's a story. That the land that Me'aras HaMachpelah is being bought with money. It's a complete as our heritage. Our forefathers lived in the private property. Nobody will argue on that. It's being bought from the Palestinians. It's our property. Yes. Sefer Emunah. Yes. It's Torah of Emunah. The teachings of Emunah. But Akoponim, we're not learning Kinyan Sode from Ephron, and therefore we say Kinyan Sode by Kesef, by Ephron. Kinyan Sode of Ephron was Bekesef, so also Kinyan of a woman is Bekesef. No. If that was the Kinyan Sode of Ephron was Kesef, that's what we're learning for Kiddushin. So also when the Gemara says on page 26, how do I know Kinyan Kesef Besode? Why did it bring the Ephron? Must be the Ephron is not a limud of the Kinyan. It's just a limud of the language. The word that says kicha means with kesef and shve kesef. Aval gzero shove, the kicha means therefore the final. But when I'm talking about gzero shove, what the word kicha means, that I learned from Zdefon. But I'm not learning. But Zdefon doesn't teach me kinyan sode. Kinyan sode bekesef is being learned from sodas bekesef iknu.
But and sodas bekesef iknu, we can learn the other chazok, the other kinyoni.
No, it says sodas bekesef iknu. Bekesef. Not kiknu is not kich. Kich is kich and iknu is iknu. And it says bekesef iknu. You buy land with kesef. That's the McCoy of kinyan. Kesef besode. And everyone is only zeroshover for the limud of the language kicha. When it says kicha means kesef and shve kesef. Dafka kesef and shve kesef, but not star, not chazok, or nothing, because I'm not learning kinyonim there. Because kinyonim by soda is not from that posuk, because I'm a different posuk. The ayina, what do you want today, Eskep Chaim?
I want to say, wasn't a hechrok that's it?
Why not? Why not?
Well, it could be miyuchad, each Indian and Indian that you learn a particular gemara about one particular sugya is connected to that, but doesn't mean all sugyas that are no gay in general to that point. It's also true. That's true.
Again, what was the raya? What was the teda? What was the raya of the Rabbeinu Tam? Why in the Gemara on page 26, when they learn King and Soda Bekesef, they don't bring the posuk of Ephron, they bring the posuk of Soda Bekesef? What do you answer about that? So that's a proof. Hey, that you should know. That's a proof that Stefan doesn't teach me kinyonim. Stefan only teach me the words. Because he taught me kinyonim, and that's and kinyonim of Ephron teaching me the kinyon. Then I move it to Isha. So why the Gemara when the Gemara search for kinyon kesef mesode, they don't bring the Ephron. Must be therefore it's not the mokoy of kinyon kesef mesode. It's just a raya of language. What? How do you remove that raya? Yes.
Oh, that's a good ride for the relationship.
And before he didn't say raya, he just said a theory, and then he said Teda, you should know. I think that's when only brings it out. The I am continue on the third line. The I the kapoich talmud gabe Chalipin ve'imochinam. Now he has a problem. If I'm therefore now I'm only learned that the word kicha means kesef and shve kesef, not kinyonim. So why the Gemara has a kasha after the kamasmalon that the number 3 comes to say 3 things a woman has been coined with kesef star and bia, but not Chalipin. The kamasmalon not. The Gemara says ve'imochinam, maybe it should be so. Why should it be so? You just said I'm only learning Kicha is there. We're only learning the word kicha means kesef and shve kesef. So where do we got Chalipin from? If I'm learning kinyon soda, kinyon isha, okay, so I can add Chalipin, I can add chazok shtam. If I'm not learning kinyon soda, I'm just learning the words. Kicha means kesef and shve kesef. So why Chalipin should be part of that? Mishumi answers. Comes the Rabbeinu Tam, the giant Rabbeinu Tam. It was the Baal Mechadesh. Yes, Rabbeinu Tam was Mechadesh, his svora, and everybody went after him. I'm reading Sefer Ayosh Rabbeinu Tam again. 3 lines on the top. Yeah, אני לא הלכתי. מי זה בן רב אברום? לא בן רב אברום, הוא נכד של רב אברום. אז זה חיים כן. איפה זה היה הברית? איך הספקת לחזור? אוקיי. ואימו חינמי. So why the poor about Talmud לגבי חלמי בחונמי answers משום because Chalipin היינו שווה כסף. Because Chalipin is really שווה כסף. When the word kicha says kicha means kesef and shve kesef, and Chalipin is part of shve kesef. Why? How Chalipin is part of shve kesef? So the Rabbeinu Tam brings 2 rayas, 2 points. It's not 2 rayas, 2 points. The O Amrino, behold, we said on Metzia page 7. Keiva netovis bosholosh keman leposik nomi. The Gemara Metzia says that whatever is under your hands is cut off. It's not part of the argument. 2 people hold the talis. One holds 10 centimeters and one is holding in his hands 3 centimeters. That's not part of the yachloiku. That's command the posik. The rest is yachloiku. Whatever's under your hand is yours. Now yours means like it's cut off, as if it's cut off. So what do we see? That when I give you Chalipin, part of a handkerchief, part of a textile, part of a piece of cloth, whatever you're holding in your hand has been cut off. So you have a complete dover sholing, mesuyam, nalo manal dover mesuyam. It's complete sholing because it's command the posik that is cut off. Because he wants to make the Chalipin shve kesef. Yeah, but not sometimes I'm not giving her. Sometimes I'm not giving the woman. I'm not giving the Chalipin fully. I'm only giving you to hold some in your hands. The rest is mine. The answer is sure. The rest is mine, but part of it is yours, and I look as a cut off. Yeah, that I have. And when I give you Chalipin, I give you a complete shve kesef. It's not something that you have to give me back because I'm yours. It's yours. That part is cut off. Ubenadorim I'm reading on page 48. But Metzia is the rule that whatever's under your hands is cut off.
Yeah, but that what's under your hand is the thing you found, not that it was given to you.
Yeah, so the Gemara says the same thing is also by Chalipin. When I give you Chalipin, whatever's under your hands has been cut off.
Yeah, but that's what's in your hand. You found it.
No, that's the Gemara there. But it is not only founding. When I give you Chalipin, it's under your hands. It's whatever. Yeah, but Metzia is Metzia. And then we're talking about Chalipin.
Yeah, I know. So he's making a dimya. When that person points, that was given to them dafka.
Right. So when I find something, it's more of a svora should be mine. When somebody gives me, is less of a svora or more of a svora? Good. So then one second. Let's stand at that point. Ubenadorim amrinon and continues. And the Dorim page 48 we say, the boy lemifseke posikle, b'shokil. The Gemara in the Dorim says not only in lumdis as if it's cut off. If he wants to cut it off and take it and leave it by him, he could. Therefore, 1 second. The conclusion, the next 3 words. Ilkach. Therefore, kekesef abe. That's a whole point. Therefore, it's like kesef. Since in lumdis is cut off. Number two, I could cut off and leave it by me and go. So therefore, it's something that stays by me. It's not just shove and momoin. It's not only value of kesef, shvei kesef. It's also shvei kesef, which can get pleasure from. If it tells me that I'm allowed to cut it off and leave it by me, so it's not only as if it's cut off, actually can cut it off physically and leave it by me. So therefore, that shows that the thing stays by me. So it means that I have to look at its value. And since I can leave it by me, means it's shvei kesef, which I can get pleasure from because I can leave it by me. It's not going to come back. It's not matomas lachzi. It stays by me. The Gemara says later on in page 6b, according to Ravashi, that I cannot coin it with matomas lachzi because it needs to be kesef with ano. That's the Rambam says. Rambam is magdir. Kesef these be ano. But if the kesef, I get kesef, I have no ano from it, so I have to give it back, it's not kesef. Has to be kesef these be ano. I can leave it by me. So I'll say here, since the Chalipin, I can leave it by me, so it's shvei kesef with these be ano. The devil is kesef, it's like kesef. Rambam, Navov, all over the whole period, he goes over always. The Rambam, Rabbeinu Moini, Moshe ben Maimon, says it has to be by Kiddushin, he kesef these be ano. That's something, that's the Avnei Miluim. Yeah. What do you want to say, Reb Chaim? I've stopped you before. Let's see. Let's stop for a second. Leave this Rabbeinu Itam and let's see the Gemara in Mometzia. You have the Gemara in Mometzia, everyone? You printed it? Well, you have Gemara. Wow. What are you here? I thought it's lost. I'm gone. The Gemara Metzia, page 7 says, I'm reading the Gemara Metzia. The Gemara says,
Which stuff about Messiah?
Davtet. Not Davzan, Davtet. One second. Davzain? Yeah, it's Davzain, you're right. The Gemara says like this. Sudo, this Sudo, Kenyan Sudo is Chalipin. Cave and the top is Bei Sholish al Sholish. Once she grabbed 3 on 3 from the Suda, Karinan Bey, we call it Venosa Lereyu. He gave to his friend. He says by Chalipin, you have to give your friend. What do you give? What are you giving? Giving Sudo that he's holding 3 by 3. The rest is by you. But still considered giving. Even I can pull it back. It says, Veshola fishnal, or somebody take off his shoe, but no sanagay has to give his friend his shoe. So, but he's not giving the full shoe, he's only holding 3 by 3. No, the command the posik as if it's cut off. And Rashi says, Vekanya makane, as if cut off, and the makane, the one who sells the land that he receives from the coin of the Chalipin, the exchange, he's coined the 3 on 3. And by the makane, by the seller acquiring the 3 by 3, he sells back as exchange the land or whatever he's selling them to the buyer. Why 3 by 3? Rashi says the klibain, I need a vessel. The ksiv na'alo, it says shoe. Botzah Mishola just well, I beg you, less than 3 fingers and 3 fingers is not considered cloth, not considered a vessel, a cloth. Kedashking a betumah, by tumah we found less than 3 by 3 is not considered a kli for tumah. So also here when I give my friend a nosan legach to give him a kli, command the pasuk is a cut off. The more so what's the difference between Rav Chizde? From Rav Chizde get beyond the Mashiach beyond him Yochel and not call him in the Mugash. I give a woman a get, and there's a string in the get, and I'm holding the string, and she has a get that I can pull the get back through the string. So the husband is holding the string, and he gave the get to the woman. Ein Megureshes, because he can pull it back to him. V'imla, but if he cannot put it back, because it will be cut off as a very skinny thread. Rope is not strong. Cannot pull it back. Megureshes. So what do we see? That only if you can pull it back, ain't megureshes. We cannot pull it back to megureshes. Why? Even if you pull it back, is command the posuk told me let it be as it cut off. Moses says no. Awesome krisus bain on there's a different problem. I need cutting off krisus, so I can pull it back. It's not krisus even though it's cut off. And London says cut off, but since something that cut off, but I can pull it back, it's not krisus. Okay, here by mekachomemka nesina bainam. I need giving. I have it. Voike, there is giving. Because I look as if it's cut off.
I know it's also saying giving. Where's Anoy? I know which I get as Anoy. Like Jesus or like in a sin. But it's not no.
What?
I know.
Yes.
Yes. So when you have Jesus, I know it's not. Why? Because it's still connected to you. Also, who says I know?
By Krisus, by a get, even though it's command the posuk domi, and the woman acquired the get, but a get that she acquires and the husband has control of it, it's a problem in Krisus. But by mekachumemka, I need venosan. So since command the posuk domi is venosan, even though the seller still has control of it. But since legally, the buyer, the seller, receives the Chalipin, and he's coining it, even though even though the buyer can pull it back, still consider that the seller received an exchange Chalipin, and in exchange for that, he gives the land. It's a different shayla. 1 second. You already jumped to Gemara and the Dogim. It's no different thing. We're talking about now, this point. The command, the posik, if we're talking about Nosan, when the husband says, he writes Sefer Krisus and he gives to her hand, there the giving has to be with a Krisus that they cannot pull it back. But by Mekachumemkar, doesn't have to be Nesina that he acquires and I know control. As long as there's a Nesina that the seller acquires the Nesina, then he can sells back, then there's a sell, there's a Chalipin, there's exchange to give the land and there's an exchange. Even though when the buyer gave the Chalipin and the seller received the Chalipin, he acquired it, even though the buyer has control of it, he has a string that can pull it back, doesn't matter. We don't care about the control, but about acquiring. Since the Moichir acquires it, into his hands, it's come on the posik, he acquires it, so then there's he's koines, he's makne. Since the Moichir is koine the Chalipin, he's makne the land to the koine. Okay. This is the Gemara in Bom Metzia. The Gemara in the Dogim, this is a little bit complicated. And here, the Gemara in the Dogim, the Rabbeinu Tam needs a lot of explanation. Why? Because Lichoira, page 48. Lichoira, we're going to bring it now. Because Lichoira, there's a Machloikas HaMoiroim. And Rav Ashi only mentions as an option, not as a final opinion. Yes, Iman Lehman, who told you that you cannot take it away? He didn't say definitive that you can take it away. The question is la'aloch or not. So the whole Sefer Yosho, his whole answer, the whole Rabbeinu Tam's answer, not like Rashi. That the having the why Chalipin should work is because it's kesef. It's Shvei Kesef. Why Shvei Kesef? Because I'm on the posuk, and I can take it away. I can leave it by me. I don't have to give it back. That whole Avamina. It's only a Havamina of the Gemara. It's only one opinion that is not la halacha. So you have to say the Gemara's Havamina here is like the Gemara's Havamina of Ravashi and Nedorim. What? Problem is why? 1 second. Why that will not be an answer? The Gemara is here. The Gemara's Havamina of Chalipin is like the Gemara Nedorim that he can leave it by him. But it's not la halacha. Why? Because the Rabbeinu Tam learns that la liba de emes Chalipin is kesef only by issues out and lechalik bekinyan. But by Evid Knaini, Evid Dirvi, everybody else, Chalipin is mitam kesef. Why? We must be that he holds command the posuk is la liba de emes, and that's a svara that's not so simple la halacha. So let's see inside. I'm opening in the dorim here. I have a dorim here. Don't see the dorim, Rabbi. Let's see. The camera would see it. But it's not here.
48B. 48B or 48A?
1 second. What?
48A or 48B?
I don't remember. Let's see inside. Here, here. Here, 1 second. No shim this thing. So no shims before. He's not doing. Let's see inside. Let's see inside. Yeah, that's 48B. 48B.
Which Gemara?
More than a Dorim, page 48B. I'm reading inside. Ahu Gavra. The Avele Broda Veshomit Kipe de Kisne. Yeah, there was this man that his son was a Ganav. His son was a Ganav, a robber. He used to steal Pishtan, flack, pieces of flack. Asrinu lenichsale, he prohibited all his assets on him. He shouldn't get any benefit from him. Shamed him. What happened? You're going to have a grandson. True, this guy's a robber. Maybe you have a grandson. Talmid Chacham. Omar Lehoins, he said, Likne Hadein. Diave Barbrei Tzur Rabbonon. Which means that since he's not in the world yet, so let's make a kinyan for him. Likne Hadein. Diave Barbrei Tzur Rabbonon Likne. Our makne he gave like Chalipin. And he says, I want to market this Chalipin to my grandson when he was born. Okay? So, how does it work? What's the law? Amre Pumpadisi. He says, Likla Adain means let this guy acquire it. And if the grandson is Talmid Chacham, we'll go back to him. Like Acharecha Leploim. Says, let this son buy half. If the grandson is a Talmid Chacham, then you will acquire the other half. That's the way the Ran learns. And if not, if the grandson is not Talmid Chacham, the good son will acquire the entire inheritance. What's the halacha? Even though Maton Slachzik Shmo Matono, because he acquires at a moment and Mishtamish Mino. But here, he was never making it to the child, only he was making it to this child in order to making it to the grandson. it will be tzum rabbanon. So really, it goes everything to the good son, and grandson doesn't get anything. I'm saying acquire it in order to acquire somebody else. The kol kelim and aslagno doesn't work because it's not in the world yet. Rav Nachman Omar kni deho sudro koni amenas lagnos. It does work because every sudor is acquired the sudor in order to makne. Acquire, give me the sudor in my mind when I receive the sudor is in order for me to makne something else. Also here, I acquired the son, the good son acquires the sudor in order to makne the nechosim or half of it to the grandson. It will be a talmid chacham. It is coin. Because when the buyer gives a sudor to the magnet, to the seller, he's not mezakeh to him anything. It's only that he gives him the sudor that will make a kinyan with it in order to magnet to him his land. And it works. So we see kinyan, that's the way it works. Ravashi told him that's not true. Uman Lehman, who told you the sudor itovis lo mitpas? Who told you by a sudor that the buyer gives the seller a sudor to give him exchange the land? Who says that the buyer cannot hold on to the sudor? Which means there's not similar to the case here, because here he was giving him, and he didn't give him anything to the good son. He only gave him to the good son to market to the grandson, but there's nothing there that the good son received on the other half. And Ravashi says, well, by normal kinyan sudo, when the buyer gives the seller has the ability to leave it by him. So therefore, it's not kli amanas laknois, it's kli liknois amanak laknois. She's coined it totally. V'oid and more sudo kli amanas laknois. Every sudo is kli amanas laknois. V'koni min ashto, and he acquires them now. The Kormin in Ashto is coined from now, Alei Nichsin, those assets. The Adain. But this guy, Lemosai Koni, this guy when he acquires it, not now, only later on when the grandson will be a Talmid Chacham. When the grandson becomes a Talmid Chacham, already the Suda went back to the master. Even if you're going to say that Suda is Kriminas La'akloisu, but Suda has one Maila. Because Suda is Kriminas now. And the story here by the inheritance is Kriminas in the future. So Ravashi is attacking in two ways. Ravashi says, normally by Suda, it's not Kli Amanaklo, it's Kni Legamre. It's Koine Legamre. Number two, by Sudo, it's even I define Sudo, not Koine Legamre, but Sudo is Kniyamanas now Ashto. And the Tzum Rabbanon, the story of the grandson, is Kniyamanas in the future. In the future, already the Sudo went back. So we see Ravashi himself with the void is not clear to Ravashi himself if by Sudo is allowed to leave it by him. He just said, Mein Leimelon, who told you that by Sudo, the Sudro, Itovis lo mitzvahs that I cannot grab? He didn't say that's the truth. He said, if he can't grab, there's a Chiluk Sudo, there's Ashtor, and here by the grandsons of future. But you see, even Ravashi himself wasn't clear that that's a sheet, and that's what they attack Rabbeinu Tam. But Rabbeinu Tam, let's go back to Rabbeinu Tam by us. Ravashi didn't express his opinion clear that he's allowed to leave the Sudo by him, that he's going to the Sudo. He says, just my name, who told you I cannot grab? Who told you? And even if he cannot, it's Ma'ashto. Means he himself is not clear. That's what they ask against Rabbeinu Tam. But let's see what Rabbeinu Tam says inside back. Again, I'm reading now 3 lines at the beginning of Sefer Hayosh of Rabbeinu Tam. I the kaporich Talmud legabe Chalipin. Why the Gemara by Kiddushin is by Chalipin? Vei mochinami lebiso. If I'm only learning kesef and shve kesef, not kinyon esodeh, only the word kicha means kesef and shve kesef, why Chalipin should be part of that? Because the Chalipin ainu shve kesef. Because Chalipin is shve kesef. Why Chalipin is shve kesef? I'm giving you a suda handkerchief to give me a bag. So it's matomas lach is not kesef. No. The Gemara Metzia says that it's considered venosan. Where's the venosan? Because when I receive the suda, as if even though part of the suda I still control, I give you a long handkerchief. Again, I take my handkerchief, and it's long. I'm holding one side, and the seller is holding the other side. It's considered venosan lerehu, yes. Even though I can pull it back. Command the posik domi, as if it's cut off, number 1. Ubenadorim, number 2. Amrin on Rav Ashi says, the boy lemifseke, if he wants to cut it off, mifseke, he cuts it off, a shokil, and he takes it. Where the Gemara said so? Rav Ashi says, who told you cannot do so? And V'oid, and if it's not so, he is Ashto. But Rav Ashi didn't say the clear to know, but he learns that Rav Ashi says, who told you? That's what he holds, that's the truth. V'oid, even if you're going to argue, but I'm holding the truth there that you could grab. Means he's saying V'oid, even if you're going to argue, but really what he holds, a little bit of MS, that you could grab. So he holds, we have a Gemara in the Dorim, La'aloch, Rav Ashi is Achoin, is Basro, it's not like Rav Nachman, and he holds the Poile, Mifseke, Posikle, V'shokile. If he wants to take it and cut it off and leave it by him, he's allowed. Ilkach Kekeses Ave, it's like Kesef, because a Kesef which is, there's Ano in it. It's Shve Kesef which is Le'ano Minei. It can stay by him. So therefore, the Hava mean why Chalipin should work, even I'm not learning Kinyon Esodeh, I'm only learning the word Kicha means Kesef, so why Chalipin was Hava should work, because Chalipin is Kesef. Okay, why Chalipin is Kesef? Because 2 Gemaras. Umetzir Rav Zayin, and the Dorim and Chet Amud Beis. Umetzir Rav Zayin Amud Aleph says, that even though the buyer is giving the seller the sudo, it's still command the posik, it's no chisorin. Is that considered complete nesina? Number 2 is not only complete nesina, also he can hold it by him. So it's shve kesef. Rav Ashi holds that he can leave it by him. The moicher can leave the suda by him. So really, the moicher got money. He got shve kesef in exchange of the shve kesef he got. He can leave it by him. He's giving over afterwards the land. So it's exchange of money. It's like shve kesef. The chalipin is shve kesef, like shove b'shove. Chalipin shove b'shove. He wants to learn every suda is like Chalipin Shove B'Shove. And everybody agrees Chalipin Shove B'Shove, it's Kesef. Because what is Kesef? I'll give you the value, give you back me. Then what do I want? So Chalipin Shove B'Shove, he's not really Shove. Chalipin is only suda. I'm giving land worth $10,000, and he's giving a handkerchief of 1 pruta. Doesn't matter. But Shve Kesef, because he can cut it and leave it by him. So he got the Shve Kesef. Okay, I can buy land with 1 pruton, even as the Nesma says, that even a 1 pruton out of it, out of 10,000 dinar, I can give that as tchilas piron, beginning of payment. And then later on, I can moichel the rest. But it doesn't matter, I can still work as shve kesef, as a chalipin shve kesef. What? Yes, but that's the halacha. The halacha is that the buyer gives the suda to the seller, and the seller gives him in exchange, he gives him the land. Now, when you're talking about this machloikes Rav and Levi, let's see, who gives the suda? Let's see. Let's see. It's a Gemara in Bometzia, page 47. What? Yes. Yes. And that's what he holds Chalipin Mitam Kesef. And only by Kiddushin Chali Bekinyan, but anywhere else, Chalipin Mitam Kesef. Must be like Rav Ashi. He learns that Rav Ashi is the halacha. Yes. When you manage, the rabbi is giving Medina with Knaini. The rabbi is giving Medina with Knaini. Because the rabbi is not the koine, is not the makne. The rabbi is not the woman. The woman which is the makne, you have the husband, which is the koine. The husband needs to give the chalipin to the woman, and she, in exchange, command the posuk has to give her body. That's kiddushin. We talk about now is chayvus of the husband to the woman by ksuba. So here it's not koine and makne, it's chayvus. The husband is mischayv himself. So really is mechayiv to the woman. So the woman receives these chayvus, and the husband gives these chayvus. So the woman that is the koine of these chayvus needs to give the husband the chalipin, and the husband has the koine makne the ksuba, right? So we with the rabbi is not really is like a shliach of the woman. It's medina vet knaini. The husband is medina vet knaini. By evet knaini, somebody else can give money for the sake of the evet to go out. So therefore, the rabbi is medina vet knaini is giving the suit to the husband as a shliach or not a shliach, to benefit the woman. Yes, that's then once the baal takes my handkerchief, my kippah, my pen. So and the rabbi is giving the kippah from so it's like medina vet knaini, and the husband is the coin of the woman. Sorry, the husband is coin of the woman, but he's the makne of the ksuba. By ksuba's opposite, the woman is coin and the husband is the moicha. Yes, according to Rabbeinu Tam, he can keep it. Yes, he can keep it if he wants. Yes, he keep it if he wants. To do such kiddushin, he can't. Why? Because the Gemara says, "Lemute chalipin is not or kotam is not keser, since it can be less." Says gnai or lechalip bekinyan, but ksuba is not kiddushin. Ksuba we do obligate with chalipin. The ksuba we make again chalipin the mechayev the ksuba shtar and chalipin. We do two things. We do shtar ksuba the mechayev. We also do chalipin. We do kinyonim. So we give the rabbi medina the knaini. He gives to the seller, which is the husband, from as if and he's giving for the sake of the woman. He's giving the chalipin to the husband. The husband picks it up. He's mischayev the ksuba. When I got married, the Rabbi Mordechovich, Snifter, Olav Sholem, in the lower east side, not the upper east side. Mordechovich, not Notolovich. Mordechovich. Rabbi Mordechovich was the rabbi that married me off. Or my father, or Rabbi Mordechovich, I was a shul in America, 76th Street, in upper west side of Manhattan. So there, what he did, Rabbi Mordechovich says, he gave me the suda. He says, I'm giving you medina vet knaini. Yes. I said, wow, this guy is a Talmid Chacham. He knows what he's saying. He's giving me the suda medina vet knaini. Yeah. I said, okay. Picked it up. We signed the ksuba. He signed it. Yes. But let's see the Gemara Mametzia, page 47. 47 Mametzia. This is we're relating to Reb Reuven's question. Who's giving the suda? We talk about the what's his name? The Rabbeinu Tam is talking about halacha, that the wife is the seller. She sells a body, and the husband acquires a body. And the Avamina was that you can do kiddushin with chalipin. What's kiddushin means? The husband is coined the woman. So who's giving who the chalipin? The woman needs to give, or the father of the girl needs to give the husband the chalipin. And as command the posik dom is a shvek yasef. In exchange, he would coin the woman. No, opposite. I made a mistake. That's ksuba. Talk about kiddushin. Sorry, you're right. Kiddushin. I was meant to say that, but I jumped between ksuba and kiddushin. We talk about kiddushin. Kiddushin is the husband is coined the woman. So the husband is the coiner. He needs to give the chalipin to the woman or to her father, if she's a ktana, or her father, nairo, ktana or nairo, the father gets. If she's a boigeres, she gets it. So he gives her, the husband, which is the coiner, is giving the woman the chalipin, which is shvek kesef, and she can command the posik domi, and posik ve'ozil, she can toifes, posik and toifes, she can grab it, and it stays versus shvekes, which is be'ano, In exchange of that, she gives a body. That fits. The Haba that Chalipin works, it's only fitting according to the opinion we're going to see in a second that the coin is the one that is giving the Chalipin. Let's see the Gemara in Masechet Bo Metzia, page 47. It's coin of the woman. Body, not mamish body. Not body. No, not body. I just used the words body, doesn't mean body. It means it's coin of the Kiddushin. He's machil on her. He's machil on her body is machil chalois of Kiddushin. What it means, whatever it means. It's not our subject. Bameh koinim, I'm reading page 47 in Bometzia. Rav Omar bekelev shel koinim. Rav says that the koine gives the kelim. The nichele la koine ve'makne koine keiche the ligma v'nichnele. The Chalipi. What?
Ahmed Olive or Ahmed Base? I didn't see where.
Zayin Amudala. It's very important, Gemara. This is a fundamental to understand the whole sugi.
Yeah, where on the page, please?
Where the page? It's exactly in the middle of the page. There's a dot there in the middle of the line. Bameh koini.
Oh, okay.
13 lines from the end of the short lines. If you go the end of the short lines, you go 13 lines up.
Oh, the men. Oh, yeah, I'm a nun man. Okay, men's line. Sorry.
Bameh koinim.
Ahmed Olive?
Yes, Mem Zayin Amudala. Bameh
Sorry.
koinim with what you coin it.
Okay, now.
Rav Omar bekelev shel koine. Rav says that the koine, the buyer, gives the vessels, and in exchange, the seller gives him whatever he wants. The nichele la koine, it's comfortable for the buyer. The leve makne koine, that the makne would koine the Chalipin. Ke'echi, in order the likmar that would conclude in his mind, the object, the land, the object, whatever it is. It's an exchange. The buyer gives the Chalipin and the seller gives the object. Dekin Rashi, much importante. The leve makne koine sakli. It's comfortable. I want the makne koine the kli. How can he coin it? So we talk about what? He's coining only mitzad kniya masla'aklois, or it's coin that he can leave it by him. Ravashi holds that he's coined it totally, not coining in order to make a kinyan. The Levi says, the Kalef shall makne. Now, how does it work? So the makne is giving the kelim and agav, like in an agav. Agav, the kelim of the makne, is going to makne the land. Come on, like the more later on says. What's this about? Omar leravunu mideskarto lerov velevi domar kelev shel makne o kakoni agav glima is buying the land above the glima. In kele chodzim shesh lemachayus nikni v'chodzim shelem machayus. How can you buy land above movable things? Opposite. V'arani protnan lechodzim shelem machayus, something which is movable nikni v'chodzim machayus. And here you want to buy the land above the handkerchief. The seller gives the handkerchief, and above the handkerchief he's selling the land. Doesn't work. Should be opposite. The Moed says no. Listen to the Gemara's answer. Omar Le. So Levi told Rava. Levi told Rava, I'll explain you what I meant. Omar Le Yavi. No. Sorry. Ravuna Midana told Rava. So Omar Le Rava told Ravuna Mideskuto, Yave Levi Yochiv. Levi was still alive. Ave Mapik Lapoch Pulsa Denur, you throw beams of fire on you. Mi Savres, do you think Levi meant Glima Maknele? You think that above the Glima, or the Glima is the one that makes the acquisition to sell the land? Bahia, no, without pleasure. The Kamekabel means Zakodam Choshu. Without pleasure, the seller said, with the pleasure that you're willing to receive my handkerchief, the pleasure that I get, that the seller get from the buyer that is willing to receive something from him, the Mekabel Minei Gomar Umakne, which means it's also an exchange. The seller gives a piece of cloth to the buyer, and the buyer is willing to receive a junk piece of cloth, so he feels good, the seller feels good, the pleasure that he's willing to give, he's willing to accept something from him. So the seller, as if the seller gave back, the buyer gave back the seller pleasure, and with the pleasure that the buyer received, he's making the land. So when Machlokes does the koine gives a scale of shav koine, and in exchange for the kela of koine, the seller gives the land, or kela of shav makne, and the ano that the makne receives from the koine receiving the piece of cloth is makne in exchange for that ano that he received, or Dom Choshu is willing to receive. In exchange for that, he's giving back the land. The halacha is like Rav, kelev shel koine, Moses Tanoi, Machlokes Tanoim, David Misroim Anagul Matrumo, the Kain Kordovo, Shola Vishnalo, Eselrei Gulo Zo Mechira. Chen Omer Trumo Zo Chalipin. Chen Omer Lachino Midato Le Kain Kordovo Shoinalo Lenosan Lerei Minosan Lemi Machlokes. Boaz Nosan LeGoyer, that's Tanakama. Boaz is the buyer. Gives to the goyel, the seller. That's like Rav, Tanakama. Rabbi Yehuda Gonos and Boaz, it's, and with the ano that Boaz received, so then goyel received pleasure and he gave the land. So Machlokes. But anyhow, the halacha is like Rav because Tanakama is like Rav, and that's the halacha. So when we talk about here Chalipin, who's giving who the Chalipin? When the Gemara says, Chalipin work by Kiddushin, who's giving who? The husband is giving the woman. So the Rabbeinu Tam says, since the halacha is like Rav, like Tanakama, not like Levi, so the husband is giving the woman Chalipin, and she can cut it off and leave it by her. Command the posik told me, even though he's holding the other side of that handkerchief, like command the posik. Number one, number two is not only as if it's cut off and whatever's in her hand is in her hand, and his control is not a problem. Not only that, she's allowed to cut it and to walk away with it. It's shvei kesef. It's kesef dis be'ano, shvei kesef. So Meile, in exchange that she received money, shvei kesef, he's coining her. That's mamish kesef, shvei kesef. There's no avamina kinyon esode. Only kesef, and chalipin is kesef, it's shvei kesef. Because we all, like Rabbi Abo, we learned that that's command the posik don't be like Ravashi, and we have to add Ravashi and Levi. It's Rav. Miller works. The husband is the coin and the woman is the makna. Right. So which means the husband is giving the woman Chalipin, and she can cut it in the shvei kesef, because she can cut it and get it. She got shvei kesef, she's makna body. Body, makna isurim, whatever. I'm not saying body means navdafka. Okay. Yes. Yes. I'm going to stop here again, although I wanted to finish it. But you should see in the papers, please, everyone. I want you to, everyone, people have to see it today. You see, at Daf Gimel, we have Shuta Rashbo. That's number one. Shuta Rashbo. And the Ran in the Dorim. There's a Ran here, and there is Shuta Rashbo. Now all we need to go back to see those two things and understand the Rabbeinu Tam and Sefer Yosh.
There is if more is followed in a or not.
Yes.
So if most, according to Rechlapi, more is not followed in a
Right. Rabbi Yochanan holds Monos comes Matera, but no Shun Sin Sefer Suchatech Baaliyah. That's why we need Mashiach. And Reish Lakish says no Midoraisa Monos no Kohen. There's only Mashiach.
It's a sniff of
Mois.
Because Chalipin Minator. So and in
Chalipin Shove Pruto. Chalipin the Kli Shove Pruto is Shve Kesef, and it works between Shove Beshove according to Rav, because we hold like Ravashi, and the halach is like Rav Yochanan, by the way. Okay, we have to deal more with it, and there's more to talk about, but this is the beginning. Rabbi Hanania ben Akash shoy merotz HaKadosh Baruch Hu lezag Yisrael lefika.